Hey guys, it's Jan, Not a Real Farm. Take a look. This weekend it's Canadian Thanksgiving, and all the way up here are my blackberries. So they've actually grown all the way up the trellis here, and I have lots of blackberries over there as well. So what's happened is I have fresh blackberries to serve on Thanksgiving. So we've got a few green ones, but we've got lots of black ones here and also up there. So now I'm going to have to get a ladder to harvest those. But actually what it does is, if I go around and take a look, I probably have enough to make a small little cobbler for dessert. Take a look at that. It's amazing. My blackberries have still grown basically all the way up the greenhouse there. So we're going to have to give them a little bit of a trim. These ones I'm going to continue to allow to go over the trellis. And eventually we're going to take our runner beans down here and allow the blackberries to attach and just grow as a fruit trellis, which I think is really neat. It's not in the way of the door yet, but the more fruit we can get in here, the better. So I got to get up there and harvest those. I'm still getting lots of tomatoes. So these ones here are my Angora tomatoes. And quite frankly, this is the reason why they're called that, because they almost look furry. So check out all the tomatoes in here. Down here, we've got more down here. And they're sort of tumbling down towards the floor. And as a matter of fact, they're still sending out blooms. So these tomatoes don't want to quit. They've sprawled over into here. So we'll be having fresh tomatoes with our Thanksgiving dinner, which is awesome. Here's some more. Oops. The temperatures have now dropped to -1 Celsius in our area overnight. So that's frost weather. But inside here, we're still able to get those nice, fresh greens or fresh tomatoes that we want to harvest. Take a look at this. So my goal today actually was to harvest the huckleberries because now it's time. They're actually dull and they're ready to be picked and they're going to make a fabulous jam. But now we've run into Thanksgiving and it's starting to get real tough now with trying to get everything harvested, seed saved, and jam made. So we go on through here. Our roses have stopped blooming now. So they are going to put themselves to sleep for the winter, which is good. We're going to give them a little bit of trim. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to turn around here so you can see how high up they went. Way up there. I actually have to get a ladder to trim my roses. That's how far up they went. So when they say these roses are called up and away, they're not lying. I think that is probably about 12 feet. And we've successfully now made our rose trellis. So now it's just shaping it and getting it ready for spring bloom. Check this out. We still got tomatoes. Now the tomatoes will get smaller because the weather's changed. But that's okay. These make great saladette tomatoes once they get this small. And it's awesome on Thanksgiving when it's freezing outside to be able to give fresh tomatoes for a salad. We've got some down here. So once again, we've got that little bit of scarring because the temperature has changed, but that's okay. We can still use it. Our purple rain cherries are still going strong. So it's gotten chillier. And now they're giving more of that nice little purple on the shoulders. Beautiful yellow, awesome purple. And we still have more growing here. Lots and lots of cherry tomatoes still. So we're going to leave those. More tomatoes. Now we can generally just let that fall and then collect it at the bottom. So not bad for Thanksgiving. Okay, so we have our fish peppers that are still developing. So they start out that nice sort of striped green, and then they are at their hottest when they turn red. So we're going to pick the nice red ones. If you're sort of at the level of habanero heat, these are just as hot. If you don't enjoy heat, don't eat the fish pepper. Oh, we have another tomato. We have to clean up a lot of this stuff now. Not bad. And then we have one of our last poblano peppers in here. He's starting to turn red, so we'll pick that. So this is our last poblano pepper of the year, but he's still a really good size, and we can use him, and we can also save the seed. Awesome. Okay, so I've dug through the horseradish patch of all the horseradish that I'm going to pick. So all the horseradish is now shipped out for the year. So now we'll just put this horseradish to bed for the winter, and we'll repick it and start it over again in the fall. Okay, and here is the last of our cayennes. So we're going to pick those off, and then we're going to pull the plants. They are done for the year. We've got so many inside drying now, and we're going to make a nice sort of dry chili pepper for the winter. Just sprinkle on anything and everything, especially if you've got those colds. That cold season is here, so having some hot chilies and hot peppers around is a good thing. So we'll keep those. I was going to actually tear down our runner beans until I realized that they're beginning to flower again, and they're giving us beans. Check this out. So because the weather's cooled down now, they're beginning to run. So I'm getting runner beans October 12th. Unbelievable. Beautiful, lovely flowers. I'm going to leave them and see what I get out of them. The other thing that we do have growing around here now that the vine is dried down is we actually grew a golden honeydew. So we'll be able to save the seeds from this and then replant it again next year. It did very, very well in the greenhouse, and so this was an experiment. As a matter of fact, there's one way down in the back there, if you can see it. So we'll be taking these in, keeping the seeds, and harvesting honeydew for Thanksgiving. All right, I'm just going to climb up on the ladder here so you can see what I'm doing. So another bug that will render your fruit useless is the Asian beetles. So these blackberries up here have some visitors. I'm just going to cut it off so you can see, but I might be able to twist this around enough. What they'll do is they'll cling to your fruit along with any fruit flies, and they'll actually start eating your fruit before winter. So it's not a good thing. So obviously this piece of fruit or a couple pieces of fruit here in the middle are not going to be usable, but they will destroy a lot of things in your greenhouse if you don't actually harvest them as soon as they are ripe. So essentially all I'm going to do is I'm going to tip this, and what that means is we're going to take the whole tip of the fruit cane right off to about here. That will not stunt next year's fruit, but we do have to get all of this off. So now that I have this cut, now you can see really up close really what they do to your fruit. So I'll be able to keep a few of these, but a few of these unfortunately will be unusable. There, so we've tipped that whole cane. The cane is actually grown from the bottom of the greenhouse all the way up. So in order for me to get this, for those of you that just tuned in, I have to get on a ladder to get up here. So this cane itself grew to be about 14 feet. And when I say that it doesn't actually hurt them when you tip them, you can see here it's actually beginning to bud again. So tipping it is really just helping it move along, especially if you've got rotten fruit on it. The other one here is just beginning with green fruit. So if the frost holds off a little while longer, we'll actually be able to harvest blackberries probably into November. You can see here I've been picking up here as well. And as a matter of fact, down there, if we look real close, you can see that the blackberries are beginning to flower again. So if the climate was a little bit different here, we would have blackberry fruit all year long. Look just down here, this cane's actually grown out towards the floor, but take a look at all the new fruit that's growing. So this is a Primark blackberry that we have growing in here, and it really likes the greenhouse. So all we're going to do is we're just simply going to put this right up there against the rest of them and trim them down a little bit. As you can see, the rest of them have sort of grown way up through the greenhouse. We'll tame them down a little bit and put them all together so we can enjoy another crop of blackberries, maybe in November. We'll see. So here's what we have for blackberries. So we've got a really good couple of handfuls of blackberries, and I haven't gone over to the other side of the greenhouse to take a look at the other blackberry plants, but we've got big, beautiful, juicy blackberries on the 13th of October. So we'll be able to take these and use them with dinner, or maybe even make a little small bottle of jam. And then we also have the tomatoes that we picked that we can now use with dinner. So fresh slices of tomato at tonight's turkey dinner. And then we're going to be saving the seeds from our poblanos and a few other peppers. And we also see over across the room there, I see that there's actually some more cucumbers. So not bad for the 13th of October, guys. And if you are celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, happy Thanksgiving. See you soon.